Hello again, everybody. Pat Dooley of the Gainesville Sun, along with Brandon Zimmerman from the Gainesville Sun, and we've decided to do an extra. We're not going to call it a swamp cast. We're not going to call it a hoop cast. It's kind of the everything else cast because it's such a wild weekend in Gainesville, Florida. And Brandon, I know you'll be running around doing some different things. You'll be doing a lot of baseball. But let's talk first about, for those of you who don't know, you've got the spring game. You got Florida baseball, 3-game series. You've got the NCAA gymnastics and the beginning of beach volleyball. Plus, I think tennis is at home as well.
There's a men's tennis match at 10 a.m. bright and early.
You'll be there for that, right?
I'm camping out for that one. Absolutely.
Well, let's start out with the baseball, and of course the baseball team went through a little tough stretch there, losing 5 of 6, lost 2, obviously up in Tennessee before they came back and won that game. Do you think that was kind of the bump in the road, or is that a trend that they're maybe going to struggle the rest of the way out?
Well, it's probably a bump in the road, but I think right now they're so thin on pitching that I think at times they're exposed, especially playing 5 games in a week. But they've added Adam Allen, who's maybe might pitch this week, could pitch this weekend, could pitch Wednesday night. So it all comes down to pitching. Brandon MacArthur, of course, going down with the injury before the weekend, that obviously hurt. They're shuffling the lineup a little bit. So, it's been an interesting ride. They've been up and down, and they were up for a long time, down for a little bit, so now we'll see where they go from here.
Well, they got Arkansas this weekend, and I don't know a whole lot about Arkansas. I just know everybody in the West seems to stink pretty much. Yeah. So we'll see if they are able to kind of right the ship there. But it's a big week for Florida. I mean, if they can get out this weekend with a nice situation, they can put themselves in position to still be, in the battle for the overall SEC championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. The midweek games were a problem last year, and this year they're winning the midweek games. And then, of course, the SEC is what it's all about. You got to make the tournament, make the SEC tournament in Birmingham, and that sets you up for a regional. I
was checking out their RPI because we were talking about it. They're 13th right now. So, and that part of that is because 1 and 2, Miami and Florida State. So when you've got them on your schedule, it's good. But we're going to shift gears over to gymnastics, and of course, Rhonda Fain's put together quite a gymnastics program at Florida, but they didn't do so good in the SECs with a fall there late with Amanda Castillo. The C word comes out, choke. I mean, you got to say what it is. Do you think they're going to be able to recover from that? They should advance from this regional here in Gainesville.
I think this weekend they're going to be fine. The regional historically has been a situation where Florida's always advanced. They've advanced to 25 of the 26 NCAA championships. There's 6 teams here that have to finish in the top 2. So top 2. So it shouldn't really be an issue. I think really where the pressure is going to be on them is if they advance to Athens for the NCAA championships with 12 teams there, trying to go for the national title
and get to that, if nothing else, to the Super 6,
right?
Obviously, but this Florida team's had a wonderful year. You hate to see what happened in the SEC tournament and see if they can't get it going in the NCAAs. But just to let the people out there know, Brandon, some of the teams that are here for this regional are UCLA, I think, is here.
Number 9 UCLA, number 15 Nebraska. Both those teams were in the Super 6 last year, along with Florida. So it's a pretty, it's a regional that's got a lot of teams with experience and had success last year. Nebraska's been kind of injured a little bit this year, so it's hard to say how much of a competition they're going to be for Florida. But it's going to be pretty interesting, and it's always fun when you get to the postseason in gymnastics.
Yeah, it will be. It will be exciting. I mean, you can go. So you go to the tennis, then you go over to the football.
Yeah.
And then you go to maybe some baseball, and then back to the gymnastics. But then you've missed the big sport, beach volleyball. Which and Brandon, tell us why they've decided to play a beach volleyball tournament in Gainesville, Florida.
Well, it was obviously this is the spring volleyball season, and this is kind of the conclusion of it. This was the only weekend where they could get all 11 teams in the SEC down here. Vanderbilt, of course, doesn't play women's volleyball.
That's why they can't recruit in football.
Could be. I think they play women's bowling. They have a very successful women's bowling team. So they looked at some sites. They couldn't really do it, at a resort, on the beach, anywhere. It was expensive and whatnot. So obviously they looked at Florida and the Southwest Rec Centers where they're going to hold it out there. The beach volleyball courts. It's a nice little facility.
It is.
Some great courts, and I know they're going to throw some bleachers up there. The competition starts at 10 a.m. and it runs all day with the gold medal match, I guess, at 6 o'clock.
So I guess you go tennis, beach volleyball, then to the spring game, then to baseball, then to football.
Yeah,
Is that your plan?
You have a you have a little window there between tennis and the kickoff of the spring game, maybe to hit it up. You could probably do some tailgating as well. Maybe
Sweet.
Maybe tailgate out by the beach volleyball courts. Might also have a little window before baseball or right before gymnastics, but it's going to be pretty tight.
It's going to be a wild weekend, and be sure you make sure you read up on all the stuff that the UAA is providing in terms of parking. I know they have a shuttle bus going at one place, and they're trying to make sure everybody is able to get where they need to go, because obviously you'll have 40,000 or so for football.
I wonder if they'll have those bicycle taxis working Saturday.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I could hire one of those guys to permanently take me all around to all those things. I need one of them anyway, just to have a guy do that. There's my driver. Yeah, here's my driver right here. He's winded. But at any rate, it'll be a wild weekend, and it should be a good one. We'll see how they do. Let's real quickly, Brandon, who's winning the orange and blue game?
I got blue.
Blue.
Big.
I'm getting him on the record on this. All right. Baseball. What do they do in the 3-game series?
2 or 3.
Who wins the FCC Beach Volleyball Championship?
I'll say Florida, the 17-time SEC champion.
Okay, and who advances from the regional in gymnastics?
UCLA and Florida.
Wow, you got it.
My only shocker was blue. Everything else,
everything else was
going
chalk.
with the favorite. Yeah.
What about tennis? Who do they play in tennis?
South Carolina.
You're going to take the Gators?
Probably take Florida.
How about Florida's 43-2 softball team going up to Athens? I think, right?
I believe it is Athens.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, see, they're not even in town. That's a whole other story. 43-2.
They're lost in the shuffle.
But it'll be an exciting weekend, and you've heard Brandon's picks. Compare them with your own at home. Until then, this is Pat Dooley of the Gainesville Sun, Brandon Zimmerman of the Gainesville Sun, and we'll see you next time.